Of course, in between, I interacted with the INEC officers, and they were busy beating their chest.
That they
this
were
time
very
around,
ready for the elections.
And of course, I saw it.
Okay.
I saw the policemen, I saw the security men,
yes.
And of course, I saw the materials being moved
out.
So my worry was that on election day, everything just went bad.
How happened?
What happened till this moment? I can't just hazard what will have happened because they were busy beating their chest, and I confirmed that I saw them moving materials because I was one of those who promoted the idea that indeed non-sensitive materials must be moved days before the election so that it will solve the problem. And of course now I'm advocating that indeed they have what we call a mock election.
Before the
main election, so that you know your return time.
Okay.
And of course, I use this opportunity again to now tell the whole world, so that they will know that one man has said such a thing.
Yes.
To me, there's no big deal. To God be the glory. Most of us are passed through secondary school, and in secondary school, we do what we call the mock exam.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. For us to prepare ourselves for INEC to prepare itself and so on. So what stops INEC from having a mock exam? And of course, unfortunately for this one now, we are talking of one state. And you know to see the apparatchiks of government there.
Yes.
6 commissioners. And of course, this time around, I will say, what was Jega doing in Abuja? This is a big job, and I expect that big jobs are given and handled by big men.
Yes.
Not small men. My chairman is here. If there's any big thing to handle, he goes there himself. That's how it's done. I said I was there on Tuesday to ensure that things move on.
So what you're saying is that in spite of all this level of preparation, in spite of all this level of structures being put in place, what transpired between the INEC headquarters and the polling centers?
That's the problem. Till now, I've not been able to.
Even as a monitoring official, you
put my finger because I went there. I even went to Obi's town. That's Agulu.
Yes.
I went to Ukpo. In fact, it was a crisscross thing.
Yes.
And of course, it was sweet because Anambra is a small state.
Yes.
It's a small state. Within 5 hours, we covered the whole place.
Let me ask Barrister, what can you hazard a guess, about what transpired, talking about what he's saying now that...
But I've told you now.
Yes.
What I told before you came, it's systemic.
Yes.
It's institutional.
Yes.
And the moment we don't, handle it very well, it will continue this way. He organized a program, if he can remember, that is Voters Awareness.
Yes.
And that was 2010. I think somewhere in Airport Hotel, and I was one of the guests. And I remember that Tiku Furoji, the present speaker, also was a guest in that. And we're talking about having free and fair election. Is this something that is feasible? Indeed, I took the microphone and said, as long as we don't correct some of these defects, this virus, and remove them in the system, we will never have free and fair election. When they were looking at me and said, what am I talking about? There is no possibility that is going to have free and fair. Even himself, as a voter, was saying that, Ubani, we're going to have, by the grace of God, we will let you mobilize, we're going to have. I said, there are things you need to tackle. You don't tackle those things, fundamental things.
Yes.
The moment somebody comes into governance and he has access to the treasury, and this is what is going on.
Yes.
Both local government chairman, or both the governor, they have access, and nobody monitors them. So far, they settle the National Assembly, they look the other way. And they have access. So as long as they have access, it's an investment.
Yes.
Whoever is coming into politics in Nigeria is coming to come and invest. They invest by spending, and when they come, they have to recoup their investment. So government is not about service.
Yes.
So they will manipulate the system. That's why they didn't come. That's why he was talking about all of them disappear. These are people that were beating their chests.
Yes.
So when it was 9 o'clock, nobody was seen because it was something that it was stage managed.
Stage managed.
They wanted it to fail so that somebody will emerge the winner. So and then the issue of ad hoc workers.
Yes. So
the moment you have only 300 and you mobilize 10,000 workers.
So bad.
Over 9,000 are ad hoc workers, and the other ones are full time. You can never have free and fair election because those guys. Are you sure it's not even the political parties that have even put all these ad hoc workers? Yes, now those non-stars. Yes, now they're the one. Yes.
To confirm, if anybody who listened to. What's this crossified governor?
The
former Donald Duke.
He has told you how they rig elections.
Expose.
Go and read Donald Duke says how the election is being rigged.
Direct comes to a state. He knows nothing. He has nothing.
Yes.
He relies on the governor.
The governor settles everything he needs. He makes him very comfortable. They can even kidnap him that day of election and make sure they quarter him somewhere. Make sure he has his comfort and he look the other way and the election will be conducted. That is what is going on. We have never had free and fair election apart from 1983. I've told you, up to date.
Wow. Wow, that's putting it so mildly, and I think we want to have a change, you know, of what is going on right now. And INEC must do what is right and ensure that things are put in place to avoid such things. So, I mean, well, let's hope that in 2015,
the issue is not about hope, it's about working it.
Okay.
We must work it, or else we'll have chaos in our hand. If a state, and unfortunately, Anambra is a small state.